Hi, it's Eric and welcome to the Correspondence Corner. I want to first wish everyone a very happy new year. You know, the cold weather did not stop me from getting out and about. On Monday morning, it was a minus 22, but I first started out the morning at 7:30 with some meeting with some healthcare providers, payers, folks from the Hospital Association, and patients to talk about legislation that I've introduced and get their support for that will allow using technology and best practices to ensure we have better healthcare outcomes for our patients. I also had an opportunity to visit some of our Minnesota small brewers. I went to the Lucid Brewing Company in Minnetonka, where they also are doing some joint work with some of their resources with Bad Weather Brewing and Badger Hill Brewing. It's just exciting to see these entrepreneurs working together that are employing many more people in our community. We're going to get into our questions, though. I received some questions from a classroom in Mound from Mrs. Rashleger's class, the 6th grade class at Grandview Middle School. I want to answer some of the questions I received from her class. I got a lot of great questions, and I picked out a couple. The first comes from Jack, who wrote in about the driving age. He actually writes in, "Dear Congressman Paulsen, I think the age requirement to start driving should be raised to 18. Why? Well, because some teens may not be mature enough to take the responsibility of driving, and most car accidents are caused by teens. So at age 16, they should start classes, but then only once or twice a month, and as the years go on, the test and assignments should get more difficult and appear more. I think if a teenager has this time to learn about driving, it will result in less accidents and more mature drivers." Well, first of all, Jack, that's a great question. And the irony is that usually when I visit with students, they want the driving age lowered so they can drive earlier. But the truth is, driving is a privilege, it's not a right. And in order to get your driver's test, you do have to pass and show that you're able to drive proficiently and safely. The good news also is that actually driving ages are determined by our state legislatures, so every state is different. Most states are at 16, that's where Minnesota is. I would encourage you to contact your state representatives and legislators as well if you really are serious about trying to get them to increase the driving age to age 18. Also want to remind everyone, no texting while driving, and always wear your seatbelt. The next question I got was from Tyler from Miss Rashleger's class, and he wrote in, he says, "Dear Erik Paulsen, I have an idea for a law that will affect schools. My law is that schools don't have to have healthy school lunches every day. One reason why is that most kids are bringing a lunch from their house now almost every day because the schools don't have healthy lunches, and now the schools are not getting as much money. Another big reason why there should be not be healthy lunches is because most of the food is processed and not made by farmers. We want healthy lunches, but we want them to be good too. This is just not for my school because I know that schools across the state have the same issue. Thank you, Tyler." Well, first of all, the goals of our school lunch program to make sure they're nutritious are very good. But you know what? You're right. We've also got to make sure that the school lunches that are provided are going to be well liked by students so they're actually eaten. I remember when I had school lunch with some students out at Mound recently, and it was the school nutritionist that actually approached me and asked for more local control because they wanted to make sure that the students there in Mound, they might be able to have better options for choosing lunches that the students would actually like. I actually signed on to bipartisan legislation that does exactly that, and hopefully we'll be able to move that forward. I want to thank you for your questions. I want to encourage other classrooms to send in their ideas and thoughts as well. Have a great week and weekend, and stay in touch. Stay warm in the Minnesota weather.